top of it, top of it, top of it. It's your boy, Coach One Stack, man. Hope everybody's having a very great morning. And hey, you know, we've been covering this Diddy case all over again because he's the hottest thing going, because he will be getting sentenced next week, right? He's gonna get to see his fate. But you know, in this video, it's a little bit weirder, man. You know, we're gonna go over the very bad Diddy news and Diddy's dark sex magic. Can you dig what I'm saying? Now, you know, I know the title sounds kind of crazy, but the thing is, Diddy has been known to be doing some crazy sexual rituals throughout all of these capers, let's say. You know, when we're starting off with the kids, he had a ritual where a child's hung upside down, and then they were cut, and their body fluids were dripping, and they had the rich and famous that would get up under the bodily fluids and, you know, just let it get all over them, because they said that kind of stuff keeps you young. They actually had a slave owner back in the day who used to do that. You know, they also had different sex rituals that would involve these children that were being trafficked to not eat. They would call it Pig Day, where they would not eat, so that way they were nice and cleaned out when it was time for them to be sold and a man to do things to them back there. And if you're not familiar with a pig or a hog, before they go to slaughter one so that you can eat it for your family, you know, my family grew up on farms in Louisiana, and before they do that, what they do is they feed they're gonna give the pig a bunch of corn, some roughage, something to make them use the bathroom, something to clean them out, so that when you know, they do slaughter them, they don't have all the bile sitting inside of their body. You know, so Diddy has been into that stuff too, but you replace the animals with children. And then it's even the rituals that he had been having, that Ali Carter spoke about, that involved animals, and it involved little kids, and it involved some of the kids who did not make it. Guys, that's called bestiality. And that stuff used to pop up on your phone like all the time, you know. So you have to imagine when you have someone underage, or even an adult, you know, tied to a tree, like apparently Diddy was supposed to have done on multiple occasions, with normally some children who were trafficked from other countries. Because these children who are trafficked from other countries, guys, there's no record of them. They don't have a birth certificate. They don't have a social security card. Nobody's ever gonna see them missing. But now you imagine them now tying them up against a pole, and now letting a horse or a bull or something else have their way with these minor children. It has deleted some of them over the years, and these are actual sexual fetishes, which I will not get into because I don't want to get my channel banned. But you know, you got somebody here that knows a lot about Diddy. And as you guys know, I pull a lot of his content and I speak on a lot of his content. So let me go ahead and let you talk to him. Here you go.
That I believe was used from his side, and I do believe that this conversation is very interesting and dark, because I also have my own experience of this conversation that I also want to get into as well. Hey guys, that's Morali, daily and consistent content. Let's get straight into this video and discuss the fact of rituals that Diddy would use continuously in his life to evade and escape any troubles that he would face. I do believe there was a time where Gene Deal, one of the security guards, mentioned that this man obviously had a dove and was making prayers and rituals in regards to this animal to basically get away with anything that he was facing in court with J-Lo and the shooting in New York and etc. at the time. Now, fast forward to P. Diddy's trial, there were even, you know, in lawsuits and etc., where Cassie basically had to grab the elements of fluid from a man like semen, and she was told to carry that to him as he was laying down and rub it on her, and rub it on certain parts of her, you know, his body. Now, I highly doubt that's going to arouse him. I believe there are certain methods and rituals that people do.
Now, see, guys, that was that body painting that they were talking about during the Diddy trial, when a few of the escorts would ejaculate into a condom, or if they didn't, Cassie would take those fluids and she would run to the bedroom with P. Diddy, and she would put them on this part of his body, his mouth, all kind of things. You know, these were sexual rituals that had been going on, and even the escorts even said that this was going on. So guys, as he let those fluids like go into inside of his mouth or whatever, that's something called snowballing, and that's some real freaky stuff, y'all. So your boy Diddy is a big old freak. We just really exposed him for what he is. Let's go with the video.
The police wanted to fine me $5,000 because I used an AI website for my insurance plan instead of the old.
Kind of encompass dark energy and matter in some kind of way. And not only that, but there have been multiple lawsuits now from men coming out, civil lawsuits, where they have stated that Diddy wanted to put his fluids into a person's mouth, but then also he wanted to keep it there. And there was one man who was taken back into a van via his goons, and he still had the fluids in his mouth. Diddy then said that he wanted to ejaculate and then tell the man to rub that on.
Okay, now when he talks about this man that was pulled into a security van, I want you guys to know I made a video about that. This was a case where it was a gentleman working security at one of Diddy's white parties. Keep this in mind, a white party with all white clothes on. Okay, this man was given some orange juice, okay? He was asked if he was thirsty, the security was. And once he was given some orange juice that was spiked with ketamine or some other substance, he was pushed into a van on the property. And he said once inside of that van, Diddy jumped on top of him, pulled his pants down, and he penetrated him. And he assaulted him from the back, okay? And he said when he assaulted him from the back, he kept, this guy was like real incapacitated. And he said he was telling Diddy, stop, stop, stop. And Diddy was holding his head down saying, shut up, shut up, I'm almost done. Shut up and let me finish. Be quiet and let me finish. He's trying to get his rocks off, y'all. So the thing is, man, you take a virgin man, okay, who has been given ketamine and he is not even in his right mind, and you push him to a van and you climb on top of him. He has not been able to give himself any type of enema or douche or anything like that. And now you have taken his virginity and his manhood, and you have chocolate and you have blood all over your pants. And remember, you're at a white party, so what do? You just put your junk up back in your white pants and go on to the next part of the party. And then as you party on more, you might take that eggplant out and insert that inside of somebody else, or even put that inside somebody else's mouth. I mean, come on, Diddy, man, you doing a bunch of dirty stuff, and you wonder why there's so many STDs floating around here and why so many people have it. Yeah, you guys, I want you just to paint this picture, man. I want you to look at this picture. You at one of these Diddy parties, a white party. You don't know whose eggplant or whose cookie got what on it, because ain't nobody using any protection. But yet through all the drugs and the drinking and the being dark and the guilt and the fetishes and all that good stuff, hey, you find yourself with something, tasting on something that tastes like ass, basically. Then you find something inside of you with blood. You putting blood and other bodily fluids inside of other people. That is a good way to pass on HIV, y'all. And guys, I ain't even got on Dwight Howard yet, so make sure y'all be sticking by for Dwight Howard. Let's listen to more of the video.
Somebody else, it's always got something to do with that. And I think that is a reoccurring theme, because there is always something rubbed on somebody, which is why I also feel like baby oil is also a massive situation here that people keep ignoring, and it was conveniently ignored a lot in the trial in terms of how that was laced with certain things or was rubbed on certain parts of bodies. And I definitely believe that Diddy was doing this because in that specific world where people are used, people are also sex trafficked, an example, a lot of that sex magic stuff is very heavy. I have my own experiences with that. Of course, some of you guys might know or might not know of the scandal that I went through like 4 years ago, in regards to the fact that some of the stuff I was a minor, some of the stuff I was like 18, 19, 20, and you had these grown men who basically sex trafficked me, passed me on to other people, and I have to perform certain kinks for them. And obviously I needed the fast money to escape being essayed and raped myself. And in those instances, there were two where I believe the man was, 45, 47, and I think I had I don't know if I was 17 or 18 in that specific moment, and certain things were rubbed on me to the point where I could not move. And it didn't last for long. I would say like 5 minutes. But this particular type of magic that I believe is used in a way to either control people, fear people, keep that in them to the point where you don't want to tell anyone that this is basically what's happened, or it's just an element of a psychological game. And I think that the reason why I'm saying this and applying my personal experience is because I definitely believe that I was trafficked as a minor and going into my teens, and that this is something that is very common in London, also the world in general, which is why so many black girls are missing in Chicago, period, and why that's also a big conversation over there. That's just in that state. But there are loads of young boys and girls who are being trafficked left, right, center, and sex magic is being used in a way to either control them, instill fear in them, or they're attracting some kind of dark matter, or trying to bring something dark into their own life, or trying to have a conversation with spirits and with the devil in that way. All of this is very much true. I have my own experiences of it, and for some reason there are people out there who, when discussing me, are not.
See, guys, and there's another point that I'm going to make before I end this video. You're not going to get a man that's going to get on the camera saying that another man sexually trafficked him, sexually assaulted him, so on and so forth, if it did not happen. Men just don't do that. So your boy Diddy, man, I know a lot of focus has been on him, but he ain't looking too pretty right now. And I'm glad all of this stuff is coming up right before his sentencing. So guys, in the comments below, before you like and subscribe, subscribe to the channel, man. Like the video, share the content. Let's get 200 likes. We're on our road to 100,000 subscribers that are active. Not just 100,000 subscribers. I want 100,000 subscribers that are active, just like I'm active, because the channel's gonna get a little bit deeper. You dig what I'm saying? We're gonna start having more lives so we can start getting on some of these subjects. Can you dig what I'm saying? But other than that, man, hey, be blessed, be stressed, and never, man, make sure you're getting plenty of rest and stay the fuck out of trouble, and stay up out of Diddy's house too. Good morning.